This morning, I came to a sort of realization that I've been lying, obviously, to you, the audience, in some of these videos, and I've also been lying to myself. I've said on this channel before that I've maintained a sort of devil-may-care attitude about publication. All right, I've said that my primary goal in this whole thing is to write the best book I can, and if it gets published, hey, that's fantastic, right? That's even better. But that publication was something I was aiming for, but it was not necessarily that important to me, right? Like, I wanted to do it, I'm doing this for that, but if I don't get it, yeah, like it happens, right? It's becoming clear, and today there was, I don't know, like a sort of shift in my mind, a sort of realization that no, I really want this. This thing needs to get published. It needs to get out there. And this is a very dangerous mindset to have. The reason for this is when you tie a project and the worth of that project to whether someone else takes it up, what you've done is you've tied a lot of your, not just self-esteem basically, but a lot of your opinions of your writing skill to someone else. If your book only is successful, or if you think you're only a good writer if your book gets published, what you're doing is you're tying your evaluation of your writing skill to somebody else, and someone, quite frankly, you'll never know, right? This person who you query, this publisher, this agent, whatever, it might just not be the correct fit for them, and yet if you take that rejection that way, and you view yourself as a terrible writer because you got a no, or because you just couldn't quite find the right agent for it, it can be a misguided thought. It can be very, you could actually be quite talented, you just didn't find the right agent. There are a million reasons why. And yet, this needs to get published. It needs to happen. If it was not to happen now, yeah, that would be a very, very heavy blow. Yeah. It would certainly have felt like I wasted a year, at least, that I had sort of played my ace card, right? I've spoken before about the sabbatical, right? I took, over at the beginning of this channel here, the first like 6 months of the year, so basically the first like 6 months of this channel, I sort of played an ace card, right? I kind of flipped the card over, and I got to win one hand, right? I get to make a bet basically on one hand, and gave me a quick little power up. It's like in Mario there, right? Where you get that extra life, right? I got the extra life. I played it then. That's when I decided to play it at this point right now and take advantage of it, because I don't know when I'll get another chance to do one of these. I don't know. So I've played my ace card. I took the power up, whatever you want to call it, and got my sabbatical. Awesome. Fantastic. The problem is maybe I flipped it too soon. Maybe I should have waited on it. Perhaps I should have waited till the next project instead. Because this thing doesn't go through, if it does not get published, did I waste my opportunity? Was that an opportunity that was wasted? Did I not take full advantage of what I had? I've said before, during that process and during that time, that I didn't waste any of the time that I had. When I had the sabbatical, I did not waste. When you saw the channel, right? I didn't just squander the days off. I used every single day. It was perfect. I used it efficiently and perfectly. The question is just, did I do it too soon? And so if I don't get published, if this story does not find a home at some point, did I waste it? Should I have waited? Should I have waited an extra year before doing it? It's a good question to ask. It's a good question to have. It's a good thing to reflect on. But ultimately, maybe it doesn't matter. Perhaps it doesn't matter. Because maybe that was the right time. Even if there's a part of me that thinks maybe it was the right time, even if it doesn't work out, I don't know. But what I do know at this point is this story needs to get out there. I now want it. If it doesn't happen, yes, that will be a much harder blow than I think a lot of my previous work has been. It's not just because this story is better. Every story you write, usually the next one is better than the previous one, generally. It's not that. But that I need this win. I need a win. It's been, I'm going on 8 years now of writing. I need the win. Something needs to happen. Something needs to get done. I need something tangible here. And, I'm still relatively young. They say if you're published before 35, that's young, so I get it. But I need this win. I need something to tell, something to sort of show me that I'm on the right path. Because once you get that win, that initial victory, once you get that first big win, that break, quote unquote, all right, you're in. All right, at that point, you can't coast. You got to continue to push yourself, basically, but you're in. The biggest hurdle is getting recognized. The biggest hurdle is getting that first break. That's the biggest hurdle in the whole process. It doesn't get easier. There are more difficult challenges you will face, challenges that are more difficult than what it took to get in. But to get into the game is the hardest part. It's 90% of the work, I think, is just getting into the game. 90% of the struggle, because once you're in, yeah, you can keep working, but you're already in the game. You know yourself that you're already in. That self-doubt, I hope, goes away. The naysayers, the ones who had critiqued you, they go away too. They go away in the sense of they're still there, but you've shown them up. You've got that victory. You've at least shown them up at least once. You've sort of shoved it in their face, and now you can go. That's out of the way. At that point, there's nothing more to prove. Once you're in the door, there's nothing left to prove to anyone else. And so this book now has taken on something more. It's become something more. This project has become something that doesn't need to just be written well. I don't need to just be proud of the writing. I don't need to be proud of my work. It's now something that needs to get published. It needs something that needs to get out there. I don't know how it's going to happen. Yeah. And there's a big fear right now that it won't work out at all. There's a huge fear right now. I have it. I feel it. Because it needs to be a victory. It needs to be a noticeable one too. I think even if this story was to ever be published by a small press or an indie press, if I couldn't get an agent to get a larger publisher for it, it would hurt. That would hurt. Even that, it needs to be a big win. It needs to be something huge. And even that's not going to cut it, right? And I've got nothing against indie presses, small presses. My current book, Tarot, right now is being under review with an indie press, right? So nothing against them. But this book needs to be bigger than that. This book needs to go beyond what Tarot did. This book needs to go further than something like that. It cannot be on par. It needs to go another step above. I need a big win, a major victory. And even a small press would not be, big enough, I don't think, to quench that. I guess, I don't know. I guess it's arrogant. I don't know. I don't think I'm coming from a place of arrogance. I think I'm coming from a place of perhaps frustration, of needing that win. It's not, if you're watching this channel, I bet you, if you're a writer, you certainly, I think, know what you're doing. You probably know this feeling. If you are someone who has some sort of ambition in life, you know this feeling. It's hard to explain. But it's one of you need the win. You need this win. There are moments that come where you absolutely need a big win to keep going. And I'm feeling it now. Yeah. So this thing's got to get published. It's going to get published somehow. And it's going to happen. It needs to happen. All right. So I'm going to sign off here. I'll be back tomorrow with the next video.